G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the Zeta Toys Blitzkrieg, aka their Onslaught. Now, he's nice, he's imposing, he has standing issues, and it's all because of his backpack, but we'll get to that in a minute. So he does look really, really nice, although if you pay attention to his feet, you'll notice I have mistransformed the back of his legs, and his knees are a little bit bent forward. Trust me, you will need to do something like that or find some sort of balance. Because, like I said, his backpack is a bit too heavy for his body. Which, considering it also attaches to Bruticus, isn't too bad a thing, but it is a little bit of an issue for Onslaught mode. So we'll get to that in a second. He does come with a few accessories. He comes with this ramp, which we will get into later, although it doesn't quite straighten out as much as I'd like, and I'd rather not break things. We have a baggie of things. We have screw covers. We have missiles, which can go into his backpack. And we have these pieces that for the longest time I didn't realize I even had until I happened to be watching a video of Bobby Skullface's to refresh how the transformation worked. So I'll just bring in one of Bruticus's feet here. I believe this is Onslaught's Brawls. And you take this and you slide it into the various slots. And apparently it is your flight stand. All these years, I didn't know there was a flight stand for this set. I don't know how the flight stand works exactly, because if I bring up the instructions and show them to you, although it's probably going to be a little bit close, so I apologize. So there's how to get him into truck mode, and there is the rest of it, and there is how to get combined mode working. It does not show you about these pieces. It does not show you about these pieces. It does not show you about this piece. Thankfully, I watched that video because I wasn't quite sure how this worked. So you do at least get a scramble city, and then you of course have these, and I'll show you how those work. So we'll put that off to the side for the moment because we won't need that till the next episode. So you can set the camera up a little bit. Now his backpack's probably going to partly come with him, but just carefully just get under there and unplug it, and it's just these 4 ports here, goes on those 4 pegs, and put that off to the side, and you can separate it like so. They don't feel like they're a lot of weight, but they're just enough. I think that's plastic, but yeah, it's plastic. But it's got a hell of a ratchet, and you can put it vice versa. I don't really think that would do much for you. So it needs to go that way, so that peg can go into alt mode. But we'll put one aside, and you can extend all this. You have a little switch. The idea is, and I'll put the camera on, the light on, you can see there's a spring down there and there's a groove. And the idea is you put that down there and you shove it down there and then you flick that and goes boom. That is very sharp. You will leave an indent or even break skin with that. So I refuse to do that. I had originally thought, take this off to give you a bit more clearance, and I think it's this one. No, it's the other one. See, that one's locked. I've got it. And that hurts, and if that got you in the eye, that's going to hurt. The other one actually seems to be splitting. So if you want to get this back on, it is a groove there, so just line those up and voila. So you can do that, but I don't advise it, and especially if you've got kids, they're going to go to the hospital. So there we go. So we can plug that back in, and we'll put those back together, and there's a peg down here. Plug them together. Oh, by the way, you can angle that down and you've got your own blaster. So there's that. All right, now, actually, we'll put that over here. And I'll have fun putting those back in the baggies. There we go. He does have one more accessory. He has his card, which looks rather nice. Got your text backs on the back. His intelligence should be a lot higher because Onslaught's never been an absolute idiot, considering he turned the space bridge, which was apparently new technology to him, and turned it against the Autobots and the Decepticons. So take that for what it is. And of course, he has his blaster, and that just slides into his hand. It's not pegged in or anything, it just slides in. So that is nice. Now we can put this back the way it was, and we flip that down and flip all that around. So there is a peg. I do show it a little bit better that I will show much later how that works. But yeah, that's the closest you can get to a heel. You might be able to try not to pop anything. There we go. Have to separate his legs, otherwise pegs are not going to line up. So there we go. So with his backpack off, you can actually straighten joints and such, and he will stand perfectly fine. Yeah, there's no problem with him standing like this. I don't know why that's not quite pegged in. No. But yeah, he'll stand fine like this. It's just the backpack that throws him off. He does have an alternative chest, which of course I've just set it up like this, and if I can get my clearance back. Come on. I don't know what you're trying to focus. Why are you trying to focus? My camera's doing funny things. He does have an alternative chest. And all you do is pop this down, rotate it around, flip that around, line things up, and there you have the G1 chest piece. So it is nice that him and Swindle have got slightly alternative chests, but we can get down to articulation. So head can do a full 360. He looks up a little bit and looks down more. He can go side to side. I believe there's a ball peg in there, I think. Can do a full 360. Now, the shoulder here goes up that far, and I'll lift the camera a little bit because we're going to need it. You have the inner shoulder here that will get you that far. However, and you can use it with that, but it's sort of monotonous. You can flip this back, which we'll need later, and that will go straight up, if that's something that is useful to you. So, bring that back down, put that back in place. We have bicep rotation. We have single elbow. I'm going to drop the camera a little bit. Single elbow that will get you that far. We'll talk about that afterwards. You have ratcheted waist swivel. My backpack keeps popping off. It's all friction. There's no side to side. You can lift the front skirt up and pull the back skirt out of the way. Soft ratchet forward. Soft ratchet back. Harder ratchet outwards. You have bicep upper thigh rotation there. You have, if you really need it, a inner thigh bend, which is more for ramp later. You have knee bend that gets you that far, and you can go this far if that's any use to you, which is when with his backpack a little bit. His ankle tilt is that far. It's a bit tighter on this side, but that's like pretty loose, which not that it really does much. You have toe bend here. If you untab here, you have toe bend here too, but that's supposed to tab in, and there's no heel except for that. So there we So there we go. So let's get into transformation. And honestly, I want to say it's on the easier side. I want to say Swindle, Brawl were on the easier side. Blast Off and Vortex were a little bit more fiddly and complicated. But Onslaught was easier. Also, I almost forgot. As you can see, my hands are more or less clean, if you want to call it that. You do have an alternative, which allows this piece to sit flusher. If you just move that out of the way, slide this down. It's got 2 pegs here, and one of these works better than the other. I don't know why. That will just slide back into these 2 spots, and now that will actually sit flusher. But now you have tire syndrome. So it's up to you if you want to have the elbow not sitting quite flat because the wheel's in the way, but you have a cleaner front forearm, or if you want the elbow to sit flusher, but then you see the tire. Also, I say there's rubber. It feels rubber. All right, so we'll get down to transformation now because I've already partly done one arm. So we're going to pop his head down just all the way. That will seem like it's difficult to get back out later. Don't worry, we will resolve that. Okay, so we are going to... I'm just drawing a blank at the moment. All right, so we're going to flip this up carefully because all this is hinged here. Rotate the hand back into the groove, and then this is going to come forward. You have these 2 ports for these 2... I always say it the wrong way around. These 2 tabs to go in these 2 ports. Also, this is on the other side. That's how you get the other piece working. I'm just trying to remember if I need to lift that shoulder or not. All right, so we'll do the other arm all the way. So pull this out. I'll just rotate it so we can actually see. This one has a look. It feels like there's something a little bit in the way. I don't know what it is, but that folds in there. And we can bring that back around. And we can pull open the hand. I'm trying to get a little bit further away so I'm not too blurred. Fold that in, bring this around, and tab that in. Now I'm thinking I don't need to fiddle too much with the shoulders. I think I need to rotate here, in this here, maybe? Or maybe I do. All right, either way, put the camera up a little bit more so we can get a bit more clearance. We're going to rotate in. I don't think that compresses. No. All right, so rotate in. No, I think that's right. And I'm pretty sure that arm compresses a little bit. Hang on. Nope, so the instructions are telling me I'm going to basically fill things in. All right, so we can bring this up all the way, rotate the elbow so they will sit next to each other and tab in, like so. And then we have all this. All right, so we are going to bring this down, bring this out and around. And this is going to fill in all this. You have this tab here that goes into this port here. So fold that in. And then this will, I was about to say butterfly. I think that's the right term, but that's just going to fold in there and sit in the gap. Come around the other side, down, out. Just be careful because that has a possibility for breaking. Just be a little bit careful there. Get that around there. Tab that in there. Extend that, which I don't think I had it quite plugged in properly. That goes in there, and there we go. I'm just trying to think if I want to do the rest of the front or I want to do the legs. I'm going to try doing the rest of the front and just see what happens. And I'm actually looking at this piece because I think this comes up. So if I untab that, bring this up, yep. These will tab into here to secure that. I don't think that's going to move anywhere. I hope not anyway. Just see if I can get it a little bit more on the other side. Yeah, it sort of folds under itself. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to try doing the rest of this and getting into it. So this is going to fold out. You're going to fold these out like so. This is going to come up, and these blue pieces are going to sort of fit in between these. So this comes up. We want to bring these around, and these will tab into these ports. Oh, you know. So get that, bring that back a bit. Come on. Well, it might be because my hinge is in the slightly in the wrong spot. Get in there. Get one in. Yep, that one's in. Just sort of compress that a bit. It's just a matter of trying to get things to line up where they're supposed to go. Get that in there. Just give that a bit of a push up. It should line up. Get in there. There we go. And then we have, this is just, oh, I forgot this is going to tab in both sides. All right. Then you hate it when there's a step and you forget it. There we go. That tabs in there. That tabs in there. That all should tab in there. Give this a bit of a push and a slide. Not too much force, just enough to get things where they're supposed to go. All right, so we've got the top of the truck done. All right, so we're going to rotate the waist. We're going to bring this piece down and around and slide it back up. Where are you? Can't be there, it's got to be here. Oh, that slid up further. Apparently not. So bring down, and there, it might actually end up locking in. We want back this way, and we'll leave these pieces for the moment. Now I'll drop the camera down, so I stop having to hold things up, and I'll put the camera on, the light on, so you can actually see. All right, so we're going to fold the toes up and untab that, plug that in, or more like push that in, plug that, unfold that, plug that in. We're going to unfold this, unfold this. We're going to rotate this out, and we'll do one leg at a time. Let's see how we go. So you have, actually I need to bring the camera down a little bit. So you have these two tabs that will go into these two ports. You also need to flip this out just to get out of the way. And we can bring that in, just do our best to line them up and in. And that one's done. And then this can come up and tab into the back. I forgot that. So it locks it in a little bit more. So I'll do it better on the second one. So fold out, fold up, fold this in so we know where we're going to line up. Bring this up and tab it in just inside here. There we go. All right. We are going to combine wars this now. So we're going to come in here and we're going to untab this. We're going to flip this back and we're going to slide all this in, and then these two tabs are going to go into one of these. One of these or two? Both of them. I think it's one. Yeah, I think, yep, one. So I think it's the screw hole. I think it's the screw hole and this tab. So plug that in there. This can come back up and plug in the side. And we got one side pretty much done. So untab, unfold, combine wars, tab, tab, And then we can tab all this together. Make sure everything lines up and doesn't pop out. And we're almost into vehicle mode. So you have this hook tab that's going to go into here. Oh, and there's a double hinge here too, so you just sort of have to work it in. Come on. Why are you popping out on me? Is there another spot that I have to get that sort of situated? I don't think so. I do feel like this should lock in somewhere else, but I'm not feeling it. Alright, let's try getting... Oh, well, might as well get these flaps into place. So just fold them out. That's going to go into there, so that might hold it a little bit more. And aren't you quite going? There we go. Got it. Took a little bit more effort than I wanted to. So come out. Make sure things line up where they're supposed to. Make sure things aren't bent where they aren't supposed to. Get that in there and just work your way in. There we go. Locked in. So now our wheels aren't going to move, and something I haven't tabbed in yet. So we have these two ports. Yes. And we have this tab here, which is part of the foot. Just line those up. I bet you I should have put them in place before I put the legs together. These are rather tight. There we go. That got it. Make sure everything's nice and secure. We want to bring back his big old gun, and we'll extend them. Like I said, those pop off. So if they pop off, you can just plug them back in. You have the big tab here. You have the port in the back here. So I'll just lower that a little bit and plug that in, or try to plug that in. Sometimes you just gotta get your hands in the right spot. And it is rather tight, so just beware of that. We can angle that how we want. And there is one more step. I don't like doing it because I reckon this looks better, but you can flip out side mirrors. Personally, I just like the actual lights, the side mirrors, to actually be where they are, because I think it just makes the side of the window look better, because you've got these big black windscreen and you've got nothing. So I honestly prefer to have my mirrors tabbed in. And there is Onslaught Blitzkrieg in his vehicle mode, and he does roll on all, what's that, 10 wheels. So they all spin, 2 here, 2 back here, 1 here. You can, of course, with the greatest of ease and weird sounds, angle your guns how you want them to. He can carry... Oh, I was going to say he can carry, but he really can't. I was going to say he blast off, maybe. Vortex, possibly. I don't think Brawl would fit. I think he'd just fall over. But there's Windblade, just for the sake of it. So he can carry Windblade. And of course, just for the other sake, size comparison, that's how big he is by comparison. All right, so we have one more mode we can do in this before we get into I'll get him into combine mode. I'm just thinking it's somewhat easier to get him into combine mode from robot mode, but I don't want to have to do robot mode twice. I'll tell you what, I'll go into robot mode, then we'll go into alt mode, into combine mode, because trust me, it's easier. Also, you do have a few other little tidbits that I was just thinking to forget to mention. You can flip these down, so you actually have struts like what Prime has on his trailer. But you do have this additional mode. Now, I'll show the instructions, right? Just to prove I'm not lying. So here's the instructions for Onslaught, right? So we have how to transform him into his vehicle mode. We have all the rest of the steps and how to transform him from robot to combined mode, right? The additional accessories are not in these instructions, right? So it doesn't tell you about the firing missiles. It doesn't tell you about the flight stands, and it doesn't tell you about this. And I will have to double check when I do Superion, which will hopefully be a long while yet, how this would actually work. But what you're going to do, and we can leave all this how it is, we do need to get the legs partly undone. So we're going to pop this and pop this. I'm going to bring these up. And this is the first time I'm doing it. I've never done this part of the transformation before. So we're doing this together. First time. We're going to untab that. We're going to untab that. And we're going to flip these down. Right? Now we're going to uncombine wars, like so. And we need to get this leg bent. So I'm a little iffy about this. This is why that transformation piece is there. So we're going to come out. I'm going to bring it out. I think it's this far. We then want to collapse this again. We want to bring this up. And I want to say that it's really only holding with this tab here. Right? So we have that one there. This just comes around here, doesn't hook into anything. And we can do the other side. So bring this out and very awkwardly do this. So it feels like, now I never own the original, but it feels like you're trying to get into combined mode for G1 Bruticus, honestly. So then this comes around here and just sits there. And he's a bit wonky. And we can just fold these down because they're not going anywhere. Honestly, it sort of lifts things. It feels like it's lifting things because of the way it is, but I don't know. Anyway, so then you have your ramp, and you have port tab. And I'm legit just looking at it, trying to make sure I can figure out how this actually lines up. So I'm assuming this goes onto this one, this port goes into there. So without hopefully wrecking anything. So just seeing how things are going to situate, because I don't think it'd be the other way around. So I think I actually have to fold these up to get them out of the way a bit. Alright, so that goes in there. Alright, so we have slits. So here and here. So plug that in. Try to line the slits up. And do the same on the other side. Alright, so there's two different ports, but I'll show it better when I try to get one actually lined up properly. Yeah. I'd say it's because of how the actual ports are lined up for connecting them. So it's not very secure, I will admit. It is in no way very secure. There's nothing really holding that in place. So you have that, and right now you have two slits holding this. You can, and I'm just going to do this gently because I don't want everything to untab. You can untab those and drop that, and you have your Scramble City mode. Now, I don't remember Zeta ever doing oh, by the way, you can also fold these down to give you a bit more thing. And I suppose you could take his gun. Where did I put his gun? There we go. and plug that in somewhere, I guess. That'll probably go on, but I just don't want to put too much force on it. So you do have a Scramble City mode, like what the original G1 did. It's not very secure. You know, it feels like it should tab in a few more places, but like I said, this mode I'd say was an afterthought. It was not intended for this. You know, it wasn't intended to do this. So there we go. So now you can untab that. So as you saw, you have these two which lined up on the one side, and you have these two lined on the other. That folds away, and we never see that ever again. All right, so let's get him into robot mode, like I said, and then we'll get into combined mode because it's easier that way. And then I might just transition after getting him back. So we can fold those up. We're going to untab these, and we're going to bring that all the way down, and we're going to straighten that out. We're going to fold this back just to get out of the way. Bring that in. We can use this tab to go into this port to lock his knee in place, if I've got that in right. And then those two tabs again are going to go into the back of his knee. That'll lock that into place. We can come back here because I've skipped a good portion of this. Actually, we'll just straighten the leg up. Now that I've done that, now it'll probably be the way his leg always wants to move. So we'll just rotate this a little bit, just so we can get a bit of clearance. We're going to pop that and bring it back. We're going to carefully fold back and pull up. And this is a little bit tricky. Ooh, that's got C-clips, thankfully. But that did kind of scare the shit out of me. So let's get that, just fold that away and try to get that plugged back in. There we go. And this is going to plug into here. And that will fold up. You have these two ports that will go on those two tabs. And voila. And we'll get to the feet in a second. Do the same on the other side, and hopefully not pop anything out. Bring that out, bring that out. Plug this into the side so his knee stays in place. Bring that in. Fold this back, which that actually come under pretty well. Very carefully. I'm going to try getting that, I was going to say, try getting that out of the way. Ooh, just wiggled, just wiggled. And we can fold that in, line that up with where it's supposed to go. And get that to tab back in. Fold that on the back and bring this down. And then we can come around to this side. We can flip up his foot. And you want this piece to go all the way into the foot, into the leg. So you might need a bit of oomph. Then bring his toe out. Same on the other side. A bit of oomph. And flip his toe out. Now I'm going to push his legs back together. Just to give us a bit more balance. Alright, I'm going to bring... I might actually... No, I'm going to have to untap that anyway. So we won't have to worry too much about balance. But that is a bit scary to untab. But I'm going to do this anyway, just to give us a little balance. So that's alright. Alright, so we're going to rotate half. I'm going to bring this down if it hasn't already. Bring that up. And slide. Same on the other side. It doesn't lock, per se. And then we can rotate this back around. We're going to untab the chest and bring it down so you can have it like this if you want, but I'm going to leave it like this for the time being. Just articulate that double hinge there as you want it. All right, so if you haven't already, actually I'll tell you what I'll do. Get him to kneel a little bit so I don't have to keep moving the camera. So if you haven't already, fold those in. We're going to wiggle this back to untab it, like so. Untab here. You want to bring it back. And I don't think it really, no, that just sort of sits under it. So you're going to have 2 ports, where are you? Which will actually sit onto here, but we'll get to that in a second because this thing will just keep popping out. Actually, yeah. Or is it there? No, it's here. All right, so we want to flat that. We can do it. Is it that way? No, other way. I'm going real well with this backpack. So flip it around this way. This will go into here. If you can get it angled right. Get this into here. And like I said, that all tabs under there. That will most likely pop back out again. All right, so upper arms. So we can split this. We are going to flip. Where are you? Because I want to get this out of the way first before I do anything. So flip this up and flip this forward, and that can fold. Flip this up, flip this out, and fold. I'm not going to take it anywhere else just yet. We're going to bring the arm down, or the shoulder down, I should say. Now is where you decide how you want to have your fists. I'm going to just use the default method. So we're going to untab that, lift this up, get in there either way. I don't remember my fist ever being tight, so it's pretty right. And then tab in. And then, of course, this folds down and around and just on the back of the elbow. Same on the other side. Untab, fish it out. Come on. Fish it out. This, I didn't show it, but this tab will go into this port. And then, of course, like I said, rotate that around, and slide it back, and voila. And we'll get him back on his feet, because we're almost done. Bring his arms down, like I said, situate his hands, his forearms how you want. Now, there is 2 sort of grabby pieces on the side of his head. Just grab those with your nails if you can until you got it high enough. Don't pull it too hard. It doesn't lock in place. It just frictions into place. And, of course, you can put his backpack on, but there is Blitzkrieg, a.k.a. Onslaught, back in his robot mode. So, let me get into combine mode, and then we can get some final size comparisons. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip this around the other way around. Just because. We're going to drop the head down. We're going to come back here. We're going to untab this if it hasn't already. You're going to fold these out. And you'll have these pieces here now. 2 of them will fit into the front of where his head is. I don't think we can get to that yet. No, I need those the other way around. Yeah. So fold them back on themselves, which is, I think, the opposite of how it was originally. Make sure all this comes around, and that will line up, and the 2 front will hook onto here. All right. So then what we want to do is we want to do the arms. So you're going to flip this piece back, flip this piece back. You're going to rotate the elbows this way. We're going to retransform the hands. So that folds back in, and the trug cab comes to the front. Do the same on the other side. Like so. And where are we? I'm just remembering how some of the steps are. All right, so we'll just leave the arms for the moment because we need to get the legs done. All right, so we're going to rotate the waist. We're going to bring this down, rotate, and it sort of slides back, and then you slide up. So down, back, turn, and up. And we want, is it this way, or is it the other way? Yeah, this way. So you want his pelvis back to front. So that's his pelvis facing you. We're going to rotate the feet back in, like so. One would think that would tab in somewhere, but it doesn't. Fold this up into this groove. And fold this up, and then we're going to rotate all this up. And where is it? There is a locking point. I'm just looking for it. I think it just actually slides under, so make sure all that bends and that comes up. Oh, there it is. So you have, should be these two here. I'm just trying to find there. Oh, maybe it doesn't. I think it just sits on either side. All right, so then we have this port here. This is what's going to hold him all in place. So you have this port, this port, this peg. So bend the elbow. Bring it back and just do your best to line that up. Then the elbow, rotate, do your best to line things up, which doesn't show very easily. I'll just bring the camera down a little bit because I think I'm missing half of this. So we're making a box. We're making a Onslaught box like so. And there is Onslaught in his combined mode. I think these will go into the actual chest cavity. Now there is one more step we can take, which is more for later. You're going to flip these open temporarily. You know it again. Untab that one. Untab that one. And that's going to be your arm ports. So that's where your arms are going to attach. So I believe it's, actually, is that an actual, I was going to say, because I've just unplugged all that. I just thought maybe that actually plugs into the legs of it. So there is your combined mode for Onslaught. He's a box. Now, I will say this, and I'll probably forget to say it later, but when it comes to Zeta's Superion, you can actually get away with not having Silverbolt plugged in, because the majority of the connections for the combined modes is in the torso portion. With the Combaticons, you do not have these on the chest portion. This is only on Onslaught. So if you don't actually have Onslaught inserted, Vortex and Blast Off have nowhere to plug into. So there we go. Right, so give me half a second. I will get this guy transformed back into robot mode so we can finish this. So I had a bit of a blonde moment there because I'm like, hang on, I haven't even shown you how to transform him back from combined mode to robot mode. I'm about to skip the whole thing. And I thought, well, that's not very nice of me. Also, I had another moment where I'm like, hang on, have I got these around the right way? So, yes, this is the right way. I was going back. I was literally halfway. Actually, it's probably 2/3 of the way back to robot mode. And I'm like, oh, what am I doing? All right, so let's get this guy transformed back into robot mode. I apologize. So you're going to unplug here and just rotate the arms out. And that will free the legs. And I'm just looking at it thinking, can we skip, not necessarily skip a step, but bring that up and bring that back. Bring that up, bring that back. We can fold these down because we don't need them now. So this is all now loose. So we can flip all this down and extend his legs and line things up. I'm going to fold the legs out and tab, fold that out, and do the same on the other side, and fold out. And I think I said before, I'm going to keep him in pogo mode because it's just easier that way. So there we go. Now I'm going to rotate this. Oh, I always forget to drop these flaps. I don't know why. So rotate that. We're going to bring this down and rotate. And in and up. It's not a very secure connection. It's not much you can do. And up. So we're going to create those tabs for the back. So we can rotate this way. So we have our crutch plate pointing the right way. Ooh, ambulance. We can rotate these down. I admit I am recording. What time is it now? I think it's still before midnight. So I'm technically recording this on Anzac Day, so hopefully no one's done anything stupid. So we can flip this all back. We're going to rotate these around so we have that port clear again, and that's just going to tab in, bring all this down, just try to angle things, line things up, and plug in. Just get that out of the way just to make sure things plug in. Like I said, it's not very secure, so it'll probably pop out again. We can fold this out if we want to. And of course, bring out his hand. And of course, this is the moment, once again, where you decide how you want to situate and display his forearms. Fold this out. Fold this around. Tab that in. And you know what? Just for the sake of it, I'm going to reorientate his forearms. So slide down, get those elbows out of the way, rotate, which I think this is the one that always just doesn't have quite the clearance. So you have to flex a little bit for, at least for mine. Fold that up, put that elbow back roughly where it's supposed to be. Same on this side, get that elbow out of the way, slide that. Rotate, see that one's perfectly fine, and then just resituate that. I think I said before, you have the two sides of his head. Just pull up until you have more of a grip, and pull up as far as it'll go. And then of course you can change his chest plate if you want, which why the hell not? I'm going to do it just this one last time before he stays back in Bruticus mode, and I'm going to try this. Because I'm going to need it for the display. You have these 4 ports here. These 2 are for Bruticus. These 2 are for Onslaught. And I just realized I forgot something. These have to come out for combine mode because that's what gets plugged into these. So I'm not going to go through all that again, but yeah. So I'll do a better job just showing that off when we actually combine. And there we go. And like I said, it is back heavy. Pogo stance is the best option. Oh, and at least for him, we can collapse those. Still not going to help with the weight, but yeah, deal with what you must. Actually, that's probably an idea. Bend his knees forward and then bring his hips back, but then that gives him chicken walking look, so not really. Lots of ratchets. Whoops. You know what? I'm going to do my little stance mode. So fold down, fold out, fold out. There we go. That's got him situated, as long as you can't see his ankles. So there we go. There is Onslaught back in his robot mode. Of course, we can arm him up. I don't think you can really use this for a shield or anything. But yeah, you can arm him back up. So now he has his blaster, and he can figure out new and interesting ways to kill Autobots or Decepticons, whichever one starts peeving him off. So here he is with MP10, and as you can see, he's bigger than MP10. I know I didn't do a vehicle comparison, but I'd say vehicle mode, he's smaller. It's more compact. But at least in robot mode, he is massive. So there we go. Oop, almost knocked somebody else off. All right, I'm going to have to pause and situate this because, yeah. You know what? Let's not do that because that's going to be awkward. So there he is with Make Toys Meteor. And there he is with everybody with Racket, Swindle, Takeoff, Blast Off, Whirlblade, Vortex. I thought I was going to remember Brawls easily. Crap, what was his? I don't have his right next to me. Where is it? Uproar, Brawl, and of course Blitzkrieg, aka Onslaught. So there are the 5 Combaticons. I have had to pull back so it's a little bit brighter than it should be, trying to keep things focused. So there we go. So next episode, we put these guys into Bruticus, or I think it was Armageddon, which is their third-party name. So I'm not going to do a part by part. This is how you transform them into combined modes. That you can always go back to the previous videos in the playlist. So I will get these guys transformed, and then I will see you in the next video, I guess. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring the bell, leave me a comment because I've seen my analytics and there's a lot of you who aren't subscribed. So apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.